you broke John Cena's nose or something, you guys are wrestling and it's an accident, but things happen.
Yeah.
Who is that said? I think they said it's called keeping receipts. When you do something, when you do something to somebody that goes a little further than it should have been.
Yeah. Those are receipts, but receipts are generally for when things might be a little on purpose. The John thing was a complete accident.
Okay.
If I mean, look, John's got ham hands. He's punched so many people in the side of the head. Like it's he understands. Sometimes things happen. We say it's not ballet, which no discredit to ballet. Ballet is hard. I couldn't do it. But yeah, it's not ballet. Like it's a physical interaction. So things happen, and for the most part, there's not a lot of bad blood. But occasionally, someone will get a stray shot in there where you're like, what was that all about?
Was that intentional or?
Yeah.
I think it was intentional. I'm gonna pay your ass back.
Yeah. But I'm sure on the field you have those too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's, it's again physical sport, and there's rules, and there's competitive edge, and you guys are. How many DBs or linebackers did you get into where you're like, okay, I ain't cool with that.
I know when there's a good clean tackle and you cheap shot at me.
Exactly.
Which in turn, I'm going to get your ass back in the course of a play, and I'm going to make it look like an actual play, but I guess what? I know.
I'm going to get mine.
I will get my lick back.
Yeah, yes.
But you have a great relationship with John.
I do. John is amazing.
And John is finishing up. He's done for 48. You want to wrestle that long?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm 40 in a couple months, and I feel great. I'm in what I would consider the prime of my career, where the physical hasn't declined and the mental is as sharp as it's ever been.
Right.
And so I would, as long as I can continue to contribute in a way that's positive for our fan base and for our younger talent, as long as I can continue to be make the product better, then I think I would like to contribute, and my body cooperates. Right. I would like to continue to do it.
Who's your Mount Rushmore WWE wrestlers?
Mount Rushmore? Oh, man. That's so hard because you get into this trap of in-ring talent, guys who are just great wrestlers, and then you get into, money, right? Who drew the most money. So, if you want to talk all-time draws, you got to start with Hogan. You probably got to put San Martino on there, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and likely The Rock.
Yeah.
That's probably your top four.
Okay.
You want to go in-ring, all-time, you're looking at Shawn Michaels. You're looking at Eddie Guerrero. You're looking at maybe, after that it gets real hard because, Dynamite Kid was really good, but he was kind of a jerk. Bret Hart was really great.
Flair definitely had Hart and Shawn Michaels in his top.
And you could put Rick in there as well. Rick is
nobody could talk like Flair.
No. Flair was special. Dusty was a special.
promo,
But Dusty's in-ring work wasn't he wasn't blowing anybody out of the water. Bryan Danielson would be up there, I think. I'd like to be in the conversation at some point. I think AJ Styles, who also just recently retired, is someone who's one of the greatest of all time in the ring. So it's a fun discussion, but it's hard to narrow it down.
Right. You called that The Rock. You want Rock to come back one last time and you get your shot at Rock?
Maybe, man. I don't know. I don't know. I had such a fun time wrestling DJ at WrestleMania a couple of years ago in the tag match. A singles match would be a lot of fun with him if he'd be willing to do it. But yeah, the tag match was a blast, and it was really cool to be out there in the main event of WrestleMania with The Rock. That's a beyond bucket list. You mentioned Sting earlier. There's some guys that when I was growing up watching, you just don't think you're ever going to get the opportunity to be in the ring with them because you think they're going to be retired by the time you're there. Sting's one of them. I got to do promos with Jake the Snake and Roddy Piper. Got to be in the main event of WrestleMania with The Rock. this is bonkers stuff. So
Roddy Piper, you grew up watching, and Sting and all those guys you grew up watching. Lex Luger.
And crazy, dude. It's crazy that I get the opportunity to be in the ring with these guys, whether it's a promo or a match, learn from Dusty Rhodes, anything like that. It's really, for me as a kid growing up in Iowa, to be able to live those dreams and meet your heroes in those ways, it's really something special.
You and CM Punk, y'all made up?
No. I wouldn't say so.
You wouldn't say so?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, there's obviously some sort of working relationship. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to go out there and have matches. But there's just so much. It's so complex. I think maybe once we're both away from the business or retired or have hung it up, there might be an opportunity for reconciliation there. It's just so hard for me to separate the CM Punk that there is now from the CM Punk that was a really rotten friend to me 10 years ago. And so it's just those wounds take time to heal, I think. Whether or not he cares to make the effort to do that, and I care if he makes the effort to do that, I don't know. I don't know if either of us have the time for it at the moment.
Have the company pull you in and say, look, guys, I understand there's some things going on between you two, but we run a business here. Y'all figure that ish out and keep it moving.
No, there was never a time where the two of us were sat down and had a conversation like that. There were conversations had before he came back about whether or not it's something that I could be okay with. And, he's back. So I always feel like if there's business to be done, that's bigger than me. That's bigger than my grievances. So, at the end of the day, it's not my sandbox. I don't make those decisions. I think WWE would be just fine without CM Punk. But I do think there's a large portion of our fan base that is very happy that he is back.
So this happened before. This doesn't have anything to do with wrestling. This had to do with something outside of the ring.
I mean, we know each other through wrestling. So when he's with WWE, and I knew him before that. I knew him when I first started wrestling because he's from Chicago. So I would go watch him on independent shows.
Okay.
I wanted to be trained by him when he ran a school back in 2004. Didn't have the money to do it because it was out in Philadelphia and I couldn't move out there. Didn't have any cash. So, but I stayed in touch. I'd go watch him on shows. I was a fan of his. He knew my upbringing. He saw, that we were kind of cut from the same cloth. And
Gotcha.
He was somewhat of a mentor to me when we got to WWE. And he also vouched for myself and Jon Moxley to be brought up from developmental to the main roster. So everything was good. He let me sleep on his couch. He let me ride his bus occasionally from time to time. He's a really good guy. And I would have done anything for him. And then he leaves the company and basically just completely ghosted. Like, just stopped being a friend. And I reached out to him multiple times to try to talk to him. And there was never any animosity between us. There was never like a falling out between the two of us. He just didn't like the fact that I stayed working for the company. And
well, hold on. Just because you leave, hold on. I want to eat. I like my living style now. And so because you had a falling out, I'm supposed to have a falling out too?
I wasn't the only person that he felt this way about. He lost a lot of friendships over this.
He get over it.
He did this on his own. And I think, that would have been one thing. But then on the back end of that, he spent many, many, many years taking kind of pot shots at what we were doing, what we were trying to do in WWE without him. And and look, when he left a pretty significant void. He was at the top. He was a top star, and we were trying to rebuild, and we didn't have a lot to work with. We were trying to make the thing great, and he took a lot of, shots on podcasts and interviews at me and at people who were trying to do good things for the industry that he supposedly loved. And at that point, WWE was my home.
Right.
And so when you started to talk bad about my home and the people that I love and the people, I take that personally.
Right.
How am I not? And because we were friends and you didn't want to talk to me about anything when you left, how am I supposed to not take that personally?
Right.
So yeah, it was hard for me. And I did write you off, and I did say, F you. Like, I ain't got time for that, man. I ain't got time for people like you. That negative energy trying to tear down everything we're trying to build here. I ain't got time for that. And so it really, really bothered me when he came back because I go, dude, you were gone. We did this. We did this without you. Not only without you, but in spite of you. We did this in spite of you. But you tried to make this not happen, and now you want to come back and reap the
want to be a part of
rewards?
it. That you see.
Yeah.
That you see. We didn't crumble without you.
No, we didn't. We got better and we got bigger, and everything is better now. And it had nothing to do with you. And so that was really hard for me. And I like I said, it's just a lot to get over. And I think literally, if he would have just replied one time to one text or one call and said, hey, man, I'm not ready yet. Or, hey, man, it's not you. I just can't.
I'm going through something.
Just one time, anything would have changed the whole narrative for me.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because you know we like to do something before two something.